and your face lit up. Like the excitement you had was like, thank God you have to pick your women right. There's no
Why?
money, there's nothing. It was just the thought that really counted. And the thought.
So you're saying I'm low maintenance?
Your words, my thoughts. Hi, I'm Timothy.
And I'm Rich Gold. And welcome to Relationship Notes and Stories.
Some of you are wondering what is Relationship Notes and Stories all about.
Tell us.
We want to use this first episode to kind of explain some of these things and kind of shed a little bit of light on them. But maybe you can talk about yourself first.
No, you talk about me.
I talk about you.
Yeah.
Okay, this fine woman here, this Homo sapien, this creation of God, happens to be my wife. She has been my wife for the past almost 6 years. She likes counting in months, so that it seems like it's a lot.
We do, but we've always counted in months.
You have always counted in months.
Even when we're dating.
When we're dating, it would also count.
Because the years became many, that's when you changed. But we used to do months.
Okay, so like about 70 months.
Yeah.
And we have one child together, a lovely young boy. Unfortunately, we will not be putting him here on this show because his hands are too mobile and he's quite touchy.
Just leave him.
But welcome to our first episode of Relationship Notes and Stories.
Yeah,
it's
good to have you here.
To have you here, and also for us to be here. But also
having our conversations
you can now also
that's all. About me. But you talked about me, then you brought in someone else, then you.
But I talked about you as the mother of the person. But
okay, this is tall, dark, and handsome, as you can see. It's called Osam. I call him Osam anyway. Yeah, we've been married for. You've already said that, and we're happy to be here to have these conversations, guys. My first time in front of video, so Mercy, you're like a superstar.
Let's not talk about things like that.
It's okay.
You're humble.
He's humble. It's okay.
Yeah. So we felt it prudent to maybe just tell you why we are doing this in our first episode, so that you can be able to understand the purpose of this show and what we are doing it for. So the show is called Relationship Notes and Stories.
But maybe some context. Initially, we had a podcast, which was the Vulnerable series, and we had a few episodes running. And we have some listeners that said they wanted to see us. They wanted to see our facial expressions. They wanted to see how we are laughing. And so here we are. So it's not the first time that we're doing this. First time we're doing it on video, but not the first time we're having these conversations.
Yes. Maybe if I could add on to that, we had done quite a number of episodes and explored a couple of topics. But because we realized we are now doing this on video, we realized that we actually now need to go in depth and probably restart. So somehow we'll be restarting. Yeah. The stories won't be the same.
Yeah.
Because we are older. Some of us have got gray hair, but couldn't tell that earlier. It's got one thing. It's not
only
like
one.
It's still present.
Okay.
And so basically, let's just try and break down Relationship Notes and Stories. So previously our podcast was called the Vulnerable series, and our goal with the Vulnerable series was for us to be vulnerable so that we could be able to give hope to other couples to realize that marriage is actually something that's beautiful. But
also that there's no situation that's unique to one couple or to one relationship. It's just that people keep quiet and people die silently, which shouldn't be the case. So by sharing our life, our story, our love story, we hope that will give some insight into things that you can avoid, things that you can look forward to, things that you can learn from. And that's why we're doing this.
And yes, so we changed the name. Some of you may be wondering why we changed the name.
Yeah.
We had to change the name because we realized...
What was the name before? It was the Vulnerable series.
So with Relationship Notes and Stories, what we want to do is share stories and also talk about relationships, but not relationships in just husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, but there are so many facets of life which are all relational. You'll have relationships with your siblings, you'll have relationships with friends, you'll have relationships with family, workmates, parents, and all of those things. And in life, you can't run away from those things. So at points, we will diversify probably our conversations beyond ourselves as a couple, or maybe our experiences as a couple, and probably speak about personal lives. What was your relationship like with your parents? What was my relationship like with my siblings? What was hers? Friends, how are all those things impacting us to make us better people?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a high level summary.
And to make that even why that is more, should I say, very important, is because these other relationships around us impact how we behave as a person, or groom us into, like, it's a part of your background. So by the time I come into this relationship with him, into this marriage, I have accumulated some things from my home, from my parents, that will then impact this relationship. So if you're not aware of them, and we'll go deeper into, how you were raised, and what aspects of that affected our relationship. And that's why then we'll get into all the other facets of generally relationships around us.
And so it's relationship notes, because at points we will be giving advice, but we are not like experts on these things. We're just going to be giving advice from our experiences, because your experience is the best teacher. And I think it's your father, but also many people say it's easier to learn from someone's stories and experiences rather than spending the time of going through the same hurdles and then facing the same mistakes to learn the lesson and then move forward.
And it takes much longer. So why don't you just pick up from someone who has been there before you, guys? It saves you time.
And you will learn that a lot when we start talking about marriage.
I have things. I am ready. Are you ready?
I'm not ready for you because you're going to just hammer me.
But also, I think another reason is we're quite passionate about relationships and couples. I think I want to believe that that's our purpose, really, as a couple. As individuals, we're called to other things, but as a couple, we're called to inspire and call out thriving relationships and marriages, in the community, because the family is a very important unit for the nation, and we all know that there are several attacks on the family. So it just reminds me of a time when I was just thinking about how, do you remember my first cupboard became ours after? How many couples we transported, what should I say, in that car? And by couples, I mean wedded couples. And someone was just telling me recently that, oh, do you remember when you took us to our honeymoon? I was like, wait, even you guys?
I think there were like 6 couples.
No, I just said, you know what, I won't count them, but guys, we love love, we support love, and we support relationships. We worked with couples as us as a couple, and we thought, why not just bring it out for everyone to learn from, and to share the knowledge that we have. And good memories, right?
And so thanks for that. And also something that we are also going to do is share stories, because we're talking about our experiences, so we'll use our stories. At a point in time, we may have some uncomfortable stories, and we might probably take a break in the middle of an episode in case it becomes very emotional.
But who will cry?
Who will cry? I don't know.
I also don't know.
There's room for observation. Stay tuned, watch us.
I know a few things that can get me, but no. You're more emotional, I think.
I'm more emotional, generally.
But the tears don't come.
They don't come. Just feel.
And we shall see.
Well, there's room to see that and explore that. Then also something else that we wanted to say is we're going to try and be as open as we can. We will share our experiences and all, but also have to be honest. There are some things which we may, if we haven't yet fully dissected it and
gone through it as a couple, it would be then difficult to share.
Yes.
But obviously, at a point in time as we go on, since we've started this, we'll definitely get back to it. So if you hear us at points say, let's hold off on that, or we'll get back to that, allow us that space. But also feel free to share with us your thoughts, what you want us to talk about, comment section, what you're looking forward to. All the people from the previous podcast, I'm happy to have you back here. And I guess it's going to be an interesting journey.
It's going to be a really interesting journey. Something else I'd like to just mention is at the end of every show, we would like to end in a different way. We'll probably ask each other, do you have a relationship note or story? And that will kind of be like our sign off. It would kind of be like what's happening, if it's a story or if it's a generic experience that you want to just look back on.
Yeah.
And if it's a relationship note, it may be something that's more in line with giving advice from probably our experiences and all that are very recent. And
All right.
yeah.
So
we'll just-
speaking of which, what's your relationship note or story? I have one.
You have
Should
one.
I start?
Okay. I hope you don't pick mine, but you go first.
Really? Oh, I hope not. So recently, guys, it was a busy day. I was there busy. But it was productive and it went well. And so he comes to pick me up, and you know where I'm
But
going.
it's okay, you go on.
Oh,
carry
so
on.
you'll just build upon it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
will.
Okay. So I'm sharing my perspective,
Mhm.
and that's one thing you're going to learn. You can be two people going through the same thing, but when you have different perspectives. So if you don't learn to try and understand your spouse or your partner's perspective, then it will be difficult for you to align.
Yeah.
So anyway, he comes to pick me, and I get into the car. I'm tired, exhausted. We're going home, and I sit and I see a package. I was like, oh. So I'm like, since it's on my side, looks like it's mine, right?
Mhm.
And I opened, guess the flowers. I was like, wow, babe. I was happy. And then I was like, okay, only flowers. Then I checked, there was a card. You guys are card. I love those things. Cards. I even first said, this place, there's no light. I need to read properly when I'm seeing. So I opened a bit. I saw he filled the whole, you know, you have a card. And then like the whole section was like, it had words, guys. I was finished. I love words. I love expression. I said, no, I can't read this now. I can't read. I have to have all the lights on properly. But yeah, it was nice. It was so lovely. It made my day. And even when I got around to reading it, it was just so thoughtful. It was a happy Wednesday card, and, you know, sharing things, just giving me, you know, I don't even know what to call it, guys. It was nice. And it's not the first time you've done it, because he likes to leave notes, sticky notes around where he knows I'll be, or different places where I'll move. And sometimes I wake up saying, Panagi, today no note. No pressure, but like, I think I don't know, maybe I should also start. But I enjoy it. And so the card was just, it was nice. It was nice to receive. So thank you.
You're welcome.
It was really nice.
You're welcome.
That's my story. So what's your
That's the story.
relationship?
You know, when you've spoken,
Note or
I've just
story.
realized we actually also picked the name probably because I sometimes leave you those notes, the
Which
sticky
name?
notes that I put around. Relationship notes. That portion.
Oh, no. I think that's
of
just a
the notes.
coincidence now.
That's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Right, because
Those are not relationship. You leave me love notes or
Mhm.
whatever, yeah.
So you're saying you have a romantic book.
Yeah, well, no, I won't lie.
Let's
guys.
speak with your words. Talk with
I said
confidence. You're
that-
stammering. If you're not sure, you can say so. Episode 1, just say, man, this guy has no romance. Romance is dead.
Bombay has romance.
Yeah.
He is very thoughtful.
Anyway, from my side, maybe because I wanted to use the story, I was going to pick something else, but let me use the same story.
Okay.
So maybe it's a background of how I got it. Actually, I didn't tell you how I got the card, so it's going to be the first time you're hearing the story. I know. So I'd gone to swap my SIM card because they'd been giving me issues, and so they told me wait 10 minutes. And so I said, do I sit down or do I walk around? So I decided to walk around the mall and walked into a bookstore. I was looking for a particular book that I wanted to read. They didn't have it in stock, so as I was walking around, I stumbled upon the cards, and I was like, this is interesting. Also, the cover of the card and everything, and I said, you know what? Let me buy this card.
It's so
I'll
nice.
just see what I'll do. So I buy the card, and as I was coming back home, I remembered as I was passing through Muyenga side, I stopped by. I just look at a place, and I'm like, I think there's a florist here.
Mm-hmm.
So I turned by there, branch off. Initially, I just said, you know what, just give me one flower. And then I checked how much I had. I said, okay, just give me a few flowers for whatever I can get in this, and put together the flowers. Came home. I actually not home. I picked you from somewhere.
You picked me.
Yeah,
I was
I picked you up.
working.
And then you found it in the car, and your face lit up. Like the excitement you had was like, I was like, thank God you have to pick your women right. There was no
Why?
money, there was nothing. It was just the thought
Oh,
that really counted. And the thought.
So you're
for
saying
you
I'm
was
low
something.
maintenance?
Your words, my thoughts. Otherwise,
see you next time on Relationship Notes and Stories.